purposes.
Well, that would be an assessment zone.
No, I don't think that's, but there, I think.
Sorry,
there is-
we're gonna
I
get.
think there is a little bit of verbiage in there about it. I haven't gone through that one yet, but I called it, it's just.
No, but I mean, it's good. So basically, the two things that have come up though is the size. We have it, it's defined in here. And then about anything that's existing, that they're not required, if it's an existing structure, they're not required to follow the setback, they don't have to go through the setbacks.
But it has to be like the existing, like that garage that was previously.
Well, we know there's exceptions, but it goes through the process to find it. As long as they know the maximum, then good.
So are you good with this one, Kate?
I am, thank you for, this was important.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
it is. So the next one we have is HB 631. That is a ballot item, and that's residential uses in commercial zones. And it says, so it's just municipalities are required to allow multifamily residential developments, 3+ units in commercial zones, provided there is an adequate infrastructure to support the development. Municipalities can prohibit residential in zones where industrial and manufacturing permitting can require all or a percentage of the running floor area to be retail, must provide an exemption to any dimensional requirements when converting to multifamily or mixed use, provided there is no changes to the existing structure. So there really isn't a lot that is striking out or adding in here. I think we're adding, it's adding multifamily, well, it's being added into under the B1 district residential commercial.
Is this a ballot question as well?
And it's being,
Yeah, that's.
yes, it is, this is about, ballot, and it's being added to the Middleton Four Corners district as, to allow multifamily. So if we look at HB 1567, that one is built.
The child.
Yeah, this is not, I don't have it written on here on my list for, when he gave us for the changes. But if it is, I would suspect that this would be a ballot change.
Well, it's adding and removing things from the zoning district. It's not a punctuation change.
But I'm just saying, it's not listed, how it is, this nice little thing here, it doesn't list HB 1567. From what I can see, this was.
So I think it's like you just have to make changes to the Article 5A and Article 22. So, because you know how like there's verbiage in certain ordinances about different things, like the 2 parking spots, like you'll find that in multiple areas.
5A, but 5A is what? It's in, applicant.
Yeah. So,
So that's like 5A is your,
What page you got?
I've got page 7. Well,
Thank you.
oh, the base zoning districts,
Yes.
so you have to update that through.
Oh,
Just
yeah,
like,
there it is.
with the multi,
Well, but I'm just looking where it says, amendment to law references to home-based daycares. So is there anything in here that says home-based daycares? I don't see any.
Well, it's got group nursing home, nursery schools,
That's-
child center, group daycare, nursery. So it's
No,
different.
his recommendation
Yeah.
is,
These are the ones he crossed off, so I'm assuming since he crossed it off, it's in there.
Where's Article 22?
oh, fine, okay, so yes, if you look at Article 5A.A.4. So this is, that needs to be stricken from there, and then if you go to Article 22, this is.
And that's on page 62 roughly?
I mean, we're amending things, so probably should get a ballot.
Right. Right, so this would be about, which is funny, like I said, I think this is one that we didn't initially continue to.
This was one of those things where it was a mandate, so people found where it would.
Well, this might not been one of the first, one of the 10 that did for us initially. Let me see my original notes. Yes. Yeah, oh. Yeah, I said I didn't initially see it on the list from where, and then when we talked about it, it is those, that's one of them. But it's not on this, the little cheat sheet list that I have, which is pretty useful. So this is ballot. So are we good with this section? We'll go to the SB 284,
With, honestly,
which is ballot, right there. So that's minimum on-site parking requirements, modifies, the bill description is it modifies the maximum number of agencies, parking spaces that municipalities can require for residential units. Specifically, it changes the requirements for maximum 1 residential parking space per unit to a maximum of 1 residential parking space per unit. Developers are not permitted from building more than 1 parking spot. So this is a ballot item, and it identifies what needs to be replaced and taken out in Article 20. And then, so we good with that one? I don't want to rush.
No.
So SB, so now we do, now we go to HB 296, that is a ballot. Yep.
Ah,
Well, it's ballot and non-ballot. So
Ballot.
it's a zoning change, it's a land use regulation change that they took us through, and it's a procedure change. So that's why, procedure change, remember, is like they have to, they don't have to no longer come to the planning board to get permission, but they have, in order to get a building permit, though, before power can give them a building permit, they need to have filed with the Stratton County Registry of Deeds, the disclaimer. I think we'll call it disclaimer, you know, where they have.
Did they get that disclaimer like off the state website, or did they get it from the town?
I think we should come up with a form.
Right, I
Say what we
think,
wanted to say.
right, and I think there's probably, I'm sure other towns, so we don't need to reinvent the wheel. And there might be a general one that the state does, and people in town may see it for their purposes. I think, I want to say I vaguely remember seeing one in the past, but I haven't seen it. So there's that.
all right. He asks us to do a couple of things here.
For this HB 296.
I'm not on 296. I'm sorry. Let's stay there for a minute.
Have you jumped ahead?
I haven't, I'm sorry about that.
It's-
All right, well, no, it's the same thing. It's, does the town have a road policy?
Regarding the, right, so wait, so let's talk about, so we have HB 296 and then we have SB 281. They're both in regards to private roads, class 6 roads. So let's just, those both have to be on the ballot, but they're also non-ballot because they're procedural changes. And because we talked about this specifically at the last meeting, Kate, I remember you.
Yeah, I had wanted class 5 or better, but he's taking out town accepted and maintained year round, so.
Yeah, because the town doesn't, because we don't maintain private roads and we don't maintain class 6 roads, so you can't just say town maintained roads. It has to be any road.
So people, we have to allow people to build wherever they want to build,
Well,
provided that they sign that.
Yeah. Provided that they meet the requirements and stuff, but they need to provide a liability waiver, this is what's called a liability waiver to the town and report it to the registry of deeds to prove that the lot and buildings are insured. So you had, right, so it says on, so if you look at this on the HB 296 where he's got, it says the frontage, there shall be 200-foot minimum road frontage per individual lot on a road.
But Kate, I think you're right, what you're saying is it should say class 5 or better in there, and then if they're gonna do something else, they get a variance. I know what you're saying, you just cross it out and didn't write that in.
Article 5. Let's see how it's.
Thinking that, and it was important in regards to subdivisions, class 5 or better. Because obviously, even today, someone can build on a class 6, they just have to get the appropriate selectmen approval.
They have
Yeah.
to, actually, currently, they have to, when it comes to the board, they have to get approval.
Right, they have to get approval. With this change, they'll have to get approval, liability, and register it in the deeds, but just the subdivision thing that they can't do currently, that will this allow that? People will be able to subdivide without planning board approval on a class 6 road, without that?
So if somebody has like a 100-acre lot on a class 6 road, and they go to build, and then they want to subdivide?
If they have 200-foot frontage, will they be able to subdivide without it being on a class 5 or better road?
I don't know, that's a good question. I would suspect they could subdivide it, no matter, wherever your property is, doesn't matter. I mean, I don't know. This is
Well-
one of those- So if you have. a piece
No, because we can't approve a road that's not town standards.
But no, but I mean, but if someone has property that's on a private road or a class 6 road,
Would you then have to say,
and say they have, like you said, 100 acres, and they had 1,000 feet of road frontage, could they do, like, as long as they had the 200 feet minimum, could they subdivide? What would stop them from subdividing? Do we have something that says in our regulations that you can't subdivide on a private or a?
It has to be town maintained or,
No, where is it?
Yeah.
I'm just curious, where is it saying? And I'm not seeing this in my book, this, it says Article 5 zoning districts, which I have right here, and he says general dimensions requirement. Oh, okay, right here, oh, here, I'm sorry. Got it.
page 7?
Page 7,
Yeah.
yeah, okay, I was still on page, I was on page 6, getting lost. So it just says, yeah, so he just says on a road. Well, it just says, yes, the town, yes, it takes up accepted and maintained, because private road,
because you can't?
I don't know.
Well, I guess if somebody didn't have that much land and it was on a class 6 road and they came to the planning board to subdivide, I mean, I guess what the board's, like, if we did approve it, we could say, we'll approve it with the contingency that that affidavit or whatever is signed with each lot. Does that make sense? Because they have this,
And what does that affidavit do? That eliminates the liability of the fire department and emergency services from trying to reach their properties in cases of emergency.
this threshold program process.
yeah, no, but it's just.
Because,
Basically, what they're doing is that if you're signing the disclaimer, that's why you're signing the waiver that you didn't show.
so if your house burns down, the insurance company will get some value from
Right, even knowing that it's on a road that's
not being able to be fire maintained, although if you put your own fire pond in,
right, yeah.
but,
But I mean, but if somebody's just gonna subdivide, and I don't know, show me in here, because I don't know.
that's all right.
No, but if somebody's gonna subdivide on a class 6 road. What do you say
Class 5.
Class 5, no, class 6.
Class 6.
Class 6 is ones that, class 6 is like John Jones, right?
Yeah.
That's what this is pertaining to, class 6 or private road. I think private is a little bit different, you now explain why that was fine. If they're on a class 6 road, they have all this acreage, and they subdivide it, that's fine, they can subdivide it. It's just when the person, whoever, they go ahead and sell it, and then say, I subdivided subdivide it, or so it's to you, Christine, you want to build on it, then it's incumbent on you to come to the town and say, as long as you have the 200.
I don't think they can subdivide, because it makes no sense. What's the purpose, if they can just cut it up into 200-foot pieces, I mean, and sell them off, well, they're still gonna have to get a survey, they're still gonna, I mean, so what's the purpose of the planning board? They still,
No, but I mean, I don't think.
Well, they
I
can,
guess my
remember,
question-
they can, before they can subdivide it into a bunch of 5-acre lots, and it still would make a little bit difference, because before this mandate,
no, they could never, because you always have to subdivide on a town-owned, maintained road. That's our whole purpose in life, is to make sure that we've got,
That's what I'm asking is where can I see where that is in the,
is it in the regulation saying,
because then
for
yes,
us.
I think we have.
I got you, I understand what you're looking for, yeah.
Then we need to address that in conjunction, I think, with this. Right, does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes
So,
sense.
it's not like a private road, typically they have some type of association, not necessarily, but all those people who live on that private road maintain that road.
yeah, it's
I mean-
typically like in the deed somewhere that it says,
You know, so that's why, like, which is different than like the class 6, which is a town-owned road, but it's not maintained. Whereas a private road is not town-owned,
it's privately maintained.
right? So I think that's, but maybe what Kate finds is it's gonna be like, oh, private in.
I'm not gonna find anything, I can't even find my name today.
All right, well, no, so let's. so
Move
we'll
on.
take that- well, no, so let's take that as a takeaway, Kate. So
All
let's research that to say, can we currently not subdivide on a town maintained, on a class 6 road?
So where is the guidelines for when subdividing? Is that in our?
It's the general dimensional requirements, I would assume. It's because the law has always been that you've had to have in a town accepted and maintained year-round road.
Because, wait a minute, so is that because this, on this frontage? Because the piece in here, under the general dimensions, all that's listed,
Yeah, you have to have 5 acres, you have to have frontage, and then you have to have meet the setbacks, and then the flood hazard.
right, but the only one that refers to the road, the specific road, is the frontage. And-
Right, but that's why, would be the only one that would require the frontage is the front on the road.
Right, but the road, whether it's class 6 or private, that's what they're saying, is it doesn't matter, it can be on any road now. I mean, I think prior to, before this, is we could say, yeah, you can't, because it's not an accepted or maintained year-round road, now we can't, now, and that's what this.
We never had this conversation because,
But I mean, this is what this ordinance and this is what this law is saying, is you can't tell somebody they can't build on these roads now.
That's right.
But you can still tell them they've got 200 feet.
Yeah, no, it is, we're not taking that, all we're taking, all he's striking out is town accepted and maintaining it on, so the frontage would say, there shall be 200-foot road minimum frontage per individual lot on a road.
so even if in our
You
subdivision,
can say class 5 road. I'll find it, I know, I never have it, right?
so even if we had, so I wonder if, even if we had in our rules for a subdivision, that it had to be a town maintained road, I wonder if that would still hold anything with this new mandate.
Right,
Where, because now if they're taking all of that up, where it could be
Because
any road.
it says, because the bill description says to allow a local governing body to authorize the issuance of a building permit for buildings on private roads after review and comment from the planning board, or establishing that the private road identifies and complies with policy adopted by governing body of the municipality. That's 296. Then 281, so 296 is private roads, SB 281 is class 6 road. And it says, the bill amends to modify the conditions in which building permits may be allowed on class 6 road. Approval of the select board with review and comment by the planning board will no longer be required. Instead, the applicant must provide a liability waiver to the town, report it to the registry of deeds, and prove that the lot in any buildings are insurable. So that's why he's taking that out, is because you have to allow them, and you have to be able to allowed to be able to build on private roads and class 6 as long as they meet these Yeah.
the setbacks.
Well, all of that, but they must provide a liability waiver for the class 6 road, and then, so it says, the summary of these recommendations amend the dimensional requirements for the frontage to include all these private and class.
So I think my interpretation is, I think that first, I think that Robin's right. There's something about having the the word in there, class 5 or better. And then the other thing is it's only existing lots. They're not creating new lots. They've got a 100-acre lot. That's what they have until such time as the road is improved to the point of their property, and then they can subdivide.
So, okay, so let me ask this question, in, not,
No, it's fine.
for the first point.
I'm not saying I'm right. It's just my
No,
opinion. Yeah.
No, I'm just saying, so you're saying that you think the frontage should say there shall be a 200-foot minimum road frontage per individual lot on a class
Class 5.
6,
Class 5 or better. Yeah.
So class
It kinda
5
gives
or
us-
better, so class 5 or better is class 4 through 2, right, because class 6 is what, and, no, you can't, but you can't do that. Because it's saying you
So,
need to allow them, you need to allow them to be on a.
I don't know, but
I mean, this, class 6, private, it's all counts.
it's not my recommendation. It's something that the Office of State Planning had put out, one of their seminars.
No, but maybe, yeah, or maybe the way they worded it is a little
And
bit different, I don't know.
It's the,
Well,
No, that's not big problem.
so, right, okay, so wait a minute. So it says, therefore, municipal zoning laws can require frontage in certain roads on class 5 or better road. However, the municipal ordinance must clearly state this requirement, defining the road as a class 5 or better.
I don't know if that's private or class 6. But I think what they were trying to say is you need to say that specifically, rather than not making.
Yep, each kind of road versus just.
Yeah, I don't know whether it's 281. I know what you're saying.
Yeah, so, because, right, well, because it seems like this frontage is encompassing both private, well, it's encompassing all roads, right? So it's like, do we need to have,
You need to spell out each.
I have, in NHMA and Stratford region, sometimes state things a little bit different ones, so that's okay.
right, I guess maybe, so let's do a takeaway on this to say, can we, maybe we ask where,
why don't we ask where to specify road?
right, can we specify, because this is being applied to a private in class 6, because it's generalized, is there some way that we can, well, and based off of what Walton has done from NHMA, so, okay, we just want to make sure what we're putting in here about in protects the town, has the town specific needs.
So we also want to comply with state law and make it easy for everybody.
Well, I mean, I hate to say this, like, even if this doesn't pass, the person can still go ahead and do whatever the state mandates.
Well, that's what we gotta include on the review, the.
But, so I guess I'm asking you this question, Kate, because I guess, I'm not seeing it from your point of view, and that's fine, and I'm not disagreeing with you, I'm just trying to understand how you're reading this, because I'm reading this as zoning districts, based on the frontage, there shall be 200-foot minimum road frontage per individual lot on a road, any road. Why do we have to say?
It does, and I think that's what the point is, that the new mandate is we
You
can't
have to have
specify,
200 no matter what the road is.
whatever the road is, it's gonna be 200.
And so what is it that you're,
I thought our advice had been given, and this is advice that I particularly like, is make it class 5 or better, so to protect the town from, because they still have the opportunity to go before the boards and say, I want to build up, but I think it might pertain to subdividing.
Well, we want to make sure that there's like a
But,
sifting process that if if it fits within the law, fine. If it's the exception, they got to seek help from the board. Let's make it easy for them.
Well, so you're worried that if somebody came in here with 200 acres or 100 acres
Or 25 acres and just wanted to make 5 lots, because right now it's 5 acres, right? Yeah.
So say they had 25 acres, they came in, and it was all, there was no wetlands, because we know what that is.
And we know that's not reasonable.
Well, let's just go with that assumption. Okay, so wait a minute, let's say 15 acres, and they want to split it into 2 lots, because there is some, so there's a.
So then we're getting into subdivision, and that's not what I don't believe that the state is requiring towns to subdivide on class 6 roads. I think I think if you got 2,000 acres and you want to put a house up there, you prove your liability, you prove this, you prove that, you can put a house up
Well, the
there.
state wants to make it so anybody who wants to build and anybody who wants to live here can do it. That they want to make it easy for people to build and.
But they're not subdivisions. That's taking all the authority away from the planning board
Well,
and
they're
reasonable
already doing-
roads.
They're already doing.
No, because the people already have the right to build on class 6, they just have to go through the process.
Right, but class,
No, but
But-
I'm looking at all the other mandates. If you look at all the other mandates, they're taking a lot of our rights and authorities away
Right.
anyway. So I don't think they're gonna stop with the private road, the class 6 road.
so I guess,
We're getting muddled here, we're talking about the difference between one house, one lot,
right.
and multiple houses.
Can you just follow up with Blair on this to say, just ask him,
Do you have the reference? Can they get a copy of that reference? Because we were both on the same page there for 2 seconds.
for hot 2 seconds. No, right, so you need to quote,
That, I would like to have that whole thing
the whole
clarified.
context, maybe that whole piece, and maybe it's more, it needs.
And then really, these are the only 2 pieces of this whole thing we're going through. It's the ADU and the square footage and the class 6 roads and the building on them.
But we just want to be clear so we have the answers when someone comes up and asks.
Absolutely.
Because for for the HB 296, which is the private roads, and for the SB 281, he's recommending the same change, right? He's saying just take out town acceptance
Right.
and maintain year round. But I guess,
Well, it's kind of ridiculous for a private road. We never really discussed private roads before, actually. People had a lot down there, they could build on there.
well, they can as long as they,
Know what I mean?
As long as they let the setbacks.
as long as they meet their
Yeah.
requirements,
Nobody was,
So I think.
it was just the maintenance of the private road.
Because your frontage, because our frontage said is on the town accepted and maintained. Private road is not made town accepted or maintained. So it's basically, I can see what he's saying, you're basically saying that then they can't build on it because it's not accepted, town accepted or maintained.
Or it looks the other way, if they build on it, then it has to be a town maintained road.
No,
No, I know.
Oh.
I'm just saying, they could argue.
they could argue that.
They could
That's
say-
I
right.
think he's trying to make it clearer, so there's no gray.
Exactly.
So that's, I think we just wanted to say, is there some way we can incorporate?
What if our friend in Access Road says, well, it says the town maintained road, now you have to maintain it. No,
So it's in regards to, so it has to do with HB 290.
you're thinking about
It's
nice
actually
people, I'm thinking about the people who
Which
take advantage of your niceness.
is requiring the same change as HB 296. Is there any language that we could include in the change, which is to remove town accepted and maintained year-round roads?
So he's just making that same change on that one article.
Yeah.
Yes. I figured that out finally.
SB, what was it?
No, it's HB 296. One is private roads, the other is class 6 roads.
We don't have, that will be new to our zoning, because we don't have anything about private roads in our,
And that's removing.
So it's removing under so it's like Article frontage, we're removing town accepted and maintained year-round parking. Question is, now Robin, what did the NHMA have?
Well, this is, it says the statute does not, this is 281. The statute does not prohibit municipalities to establish a separate road frontage requirement to new construction. Therefore, a municipal zoning ordinance can require frontage of a certain length on a class 5 federal road. However, the municipal ordinance must clearly state this requirement by defining the road as class 5 or better.
So it's just saying that you can, that to me is just saying, in the defining it, you have to have 200 feet.
I'm going to send this to you.
200 foot feet frontage. So, what would you like for it to say, Kate? I know you wanted to say class 6 or better, a class 5 or better, right?
Mhm.
So actually, let's just say, can we amend that to say on a lot, individual lot on a class 6, a class 5 or better road? Do we put an additional, do we need to have an additional caveat on there regarding private roads and,
Do we amend it to say the individual lot of class?
okay, so can we amend it to say road, minimum road frontage per individual lot on a class 5 or better road? Per individual lot on a class 5, class 5 or better road. And, no, so just that's what we want to change it to. I would maybe just italicize the, after the, which is, so unclass, so I italicize it, unclassified or better road. That's what we want to add. So then after that, so then the next question is, what we're trying to say, can we add additional language, right, Kate, for a private, regarding private roads and class 6 roads? What would, I guess, the intention for that be? That's, I guess,
I'm not sure why this change on private roads, because in Middleton today, you buy land on private road, you can build on that lot of land, all you gotta do is meet the setback, so I guess this is,
I think what they're doing is instead of.
So I don't-
Streamlining it.
so if it's a private road, there comes with that some guarantee that there's gonna be some maintenance. Usually the group gets together, I mean, whatever they do. What's the town interest? I wouldn't want to include class 5 or better on a private road. But I would, well, they're not gonna come before the board for subdivision, are they? Or are they? No, they're not. And then, because our important thing about when we get a subdivision is that the roads are built to road standards. We don't make road subdivisions on roads that are not class 5 or class 6. You can ask them that question, is this gonna change the role of subdivision approval in planning boards, and why not? And you don't have to ask them that question.
no, I think it's a good question, because I mean, I think if it, depending on how it comes back, might answer, you know.
Might clarify the doubts I have, the worries that I have that
Right.
we're gonna leave our flank exposed. That's a military term.
Because I think, and in the end, I'm okay with the, I'm okay with changing it to say class 5 or better, but I would also, but I think that maybe we would potentially address,
Because that does not stop them.
Doesn't this allow them to do on a
No, because
class 6, but they have to, but they. must-
clearly, yes.
But do we add language saying for on a class 6, that, yes, they're allowed to do this as long as they meet this frontage, meet the requirements, but they also have to provide the liability waiver to the town. So, I mean, I'm just saying you would just make this a little bit more verbose in saying.
And I'm wondering why New Hampshire Municipal Association suggested us that we make sure we include that class 5 or better to keep our liability or keep
So I
whatever
would,
done.
so I'd say, can we, along with this verbiage, can we call out the class 6 road and state the minimum of 200, the same requirements, however, to also they need to provide the liability waiver to the town in the form of the registry of deeds. It's basically kind of covering, adding it in.
Kind of overstating.
Well, it's not, it's really not, but it's not, we don't have anything in here that says private roads or class 6 roads, right, Kate? So-
We do class 6, but I don't think the class, well, no, you're right, it never says explicitly class
So I
6.
think- I
Right,
think if we say, yeah, you can build if you have the frontage, but for a class 6 road, you need to have not just the 200-foot minimum, but you need to have this criteria, and we don't have it. I don't think it has it anywhere, so I think
No.
if we're adding it in somewhere, we can say,
That-
oh, no, it's a requirement, you have to have.
right. Well, the requirement always has been go to the selectmen and get their approval, and they'll write a letter, which
Yeah, but
disappears.
then if we actually had it in an
No,
ordinance-
this really tightens it up.
So I think,
For what we
can
have.
say, can we say they have frontage, and we can say, this one is for, and we could say, this verbiage is for class
So this,
5 or better. And then you have, class 6 roads, and then say, there shall be 2 road frontage per individual lot on a, class 6 road along with, the applicant needs to provide, what.
So-
liability waiver to the town.
maybe you don't want to go down this road right now, but, so this makes so this approved, they get their things, they do their things, and then they get a building permit from the building officer, and then this means they can't put yurts or buses, or they can't live up in the hills and whatever they want to anymore, right? They have to have a septic system, they have to have a house, they have to have, am I correct, or can they live in a shanty? I don't know.
I mean, granted, there are probably people who, it's not.
Well, I've heard stories.
No, but that's what I mean, yes. They're doing that no matter what we have in here anyways. They should.
Right, but prior to this, I don't even know when they approved the yurt up there, if she got a building permit from anybody, so it wasn't like a town thing.
Does the yurt have a proper bathroom?
I have no idea.
Or you're, yeah,
I don't want to go down the yurt road.
So we're not, so I guess, so what I would
the
say.
yurt on the dirt road.
The
So
yurt
what
on the
I would
dirt.
say is in this, can we update this frontage to say, have an input for class 6, class 5 or better in basically the verbiage that we just have, that we have. And then can we have one that says class 6 roads, and then in basically the same verbiage, on terms of, whatever. And we would say, along with providing the applicant must provide the liability waiver to the town according to the registry to prove that the lot and any buildings are insured.
So, yeah,
And then you would have, and then we do something for private roads.
so,
Because it says for private, it's still not authorized.
Well, the SB 281 says that the liability waiver, so you
No, that's the bill description. That's the state bill description. We don't have anything in our ordinances. That's what we need to have. We need to have it here that says, because unless we say, the frontage, we would have to say, look, reference to bill, New Hampshire RSA 64:41 dash, no, I think just put that verbiage in there. But also,
it's like,
I just want to read what the Bible says.
it always was the,
So what's this mean, Kate, right here?
where are you at?
On the HB 296, the private road. So it says, to allow local government body to authorize the issuance of a building permit for buildings on private roads after review and comment from the planning board for establishment that
Yeah.
the private road identifies Does that mean,
Yep. Selectmen,
no, but I mean that the road identifies and complies with the policy adopted. I don't know what that means, what adopted policy, I guess.
any town probably, and this is just a guess, any town could have a policy on how they approve roads, building on private roads.
I think you're saying specifically you can create a policy.
Right, so the selectmen can do that, yes, or it can go to the planning board, yeah.
So maybe,
I think we're just saying the same
okay,
thing.
so maybe, so we
Are we
have,
saying the same thing? Yeah.
under the frontage, we have one that says class 5 or better, and we put in there shall be 200, and I'm sorry to keep repeating this, right? There shall be a 200-foot minimum road frontage per individual lot on a class 5 or better road. That's that. Then we have one that says class 6 roads, and it says the same thing per individual lot on a town road, along with the applicant must provide the liability rating to the town, recorded with registries, approve the lot and concern. Then we go to, under the same thing, private roads, and we say, there shall be 200,
So you want to break down each road?
yes.
Okay.
That's
Yes.
fine.
That's
Do you think, I think that's clear because nothing, it just says frontage, and frontage is, to me, is being very general and it's applying to every road.
I think if you can simplify and make it as simple as possible, it helps everybody.
And so then I would say, that same, so I just say, can we do this in a, we can write it out afterwards, and say, and then we put in there, the verbiage for the private road. So if we do that, we'll send that to Blair and see what his comments are.
All right,
Be like,
we'll sit down after.
Yeah.
So
Who thought, you can put my name on it, it's okay.
no, but I-
8 months now.
Kate wants to sleep at night.
But I just think it clarifies the irregular town, because the class 6, class 5 or better are town maintained roads.
Yeah.
We can say that, we can change that, we can put that back in there and say town accepted, we can leave it as it is, right? If we say class 6, 5 or better, we can say on a town accepted or maintained road, but it's far better to say class 5.
They're suggesting say class
Yeah,
1.
no, I agree.
And that's and honestly, would I have thought of this if they hadn't brought that up? No, I just want to make sure that we've covered everything for the town that we can.
Between class 5 and class 6? Class 6 is not maintained, it's like John Jones.
Okay, and then class 5.
You
Class
can,
5 is like Kintyre,
yeah.
Okay.
your group. Well, yeah.
Well, that might be a class 2 or a class 1, right?
Well,
Well, no, I thought.
State highways,
I thought the further you go down, it's better, so I think.
Yeah.
I think every
It's
town- every
confused. I was on
every
state
road
highway.
is class- I think
Well, that
every
part
road
is.
in
One
town
could be
is
three.
class
yes,
five.
yes, you're right.
My road that I live on could be like class 3 or 4, because it's a state.
Fancy road.
It is a fancy road.
But you would think class 5 or better would be class 6, not class 4.
You're right.
It's not
but
intuitive.
it's- Right, it actually is,
If we're
better
gonna-
means going down, like 1, 2, 1.
Well, then why don't we just spell it out, say class 5 or better, which some people may do whatever they want, but class 1 through 5.
Yeah.
Well,
Five
because,
plus
but
three,
no,
two,
because
one.
we're not required to maintain like a class 2 or 3, like, we're not required to maintain a state road. But I guess you're talking about building. on-
Building,
I
yeah.
just-
Well,
But I mean,
But I
I
think
would
that's
just say
something
class,
like-
I mean, I think it's just better to say class 5 or better.
I agree with you, but I just had a question on this bill description on HB 296. It said, planning board or select persons make that decision on the private roads. Do we need to make a decision here, or?
Yeah, so this is what the description is.
Right.
This is what they're just saying is, so that's why I take this a lot different when I authorize nations of business.
Oh, I see, so there,
It's in comments from the planning board establishing private road community, so I think we need to, when we go to write up, we'll get to that. So let's
yeah,
So we're down to, sorry, 296 to 81, so HB 413 is non-ballot. That's the description of the code. That's a land use change in the building code. Have to figure that. through it, approve it, separate on ballot, that we can approve.
Yeah, because we can, like he was saying, like, we can kind of take our time and do all the other stuff with hearings.
So I think that's all, HB 281, HB 291, HB 457, HB 577, HB 631, SB 284, and then there was the,
HB 296.
yeah, that's that one.
Sub-
HB 1567.
That subdivision reviews just look like it's like timing changes in the ability of this planning board. It's all that blue stuff. Doesn't look like it's,
It's
HB 413, right? Yeah.
Okay, yeah, and that's a non-ballot, so I guess what I would, like I said, I'm recommending is that we kind of address those maybe in the next meeting.
We could actually address them and approve them and get them done and all set to be put into the new,
Right, when,
yeah.
right, by the time this goes to vote, yes.
Right.
But I mean, I wanted just kind of an effort to say.
Or do you wanna-
concentrate on these on the ballot.
Or, that's fine.
Because his timelines for that is something we could.
So my question here.
I am in agreement with you.
So my question here would be, is we've gone through all the items that need on the ballot. We have one outstanding question, it's on the, and we're gonna send that to Blair. Or after we-
Where's our fences and the other thing?
Oh,
Are we going forward with the fences thing?
So we're gonna try to pick out, I thought, we didn't do any amendments, so you said we're gonna take John's.
we're just gonna take, yeah, I didn't bring, do you have, does anybody who probably has the 2024 book? Because, okay, wait a minute, can you bring me one?
The 2024. The,
The 2024?
Red book?
I wonder if the.
They're all printed in the book. Whatever comes out is printed in the book.
Oh, it's annual report.
But I think I'm not sure.
Oh.
It's out online.
Is it not?
I'm gonna-
We vote, it, you went with that.
Yeah, that's what I'm going, but you have. But I don't have any marks. I'm just thinking. Just think faster. Oh, yeah. Your initiative. Oh, it's here.
Yeah.
Same as the-
Yes, here it is. All right, so it says,
Oh.
well, what I submitted was not the one that we got.
What are you looking for?
I'm looking for everything prior to,
Is it what was on the ballot for?
On the ballot.
yeah, and what got submitted to UNH is not, does not include.
Yeah, I actually had a separate couple pages of that.
Those that we, well, we have the ones that's under the.
It's got the articles, you see those, right?
It doesn't have all, it doesn't have, no, but it doesn't have all the zoning articles.
Oh,
It
yeah.
only has,
Yeah.
like, are you in favor of adoption of amendment number 2 as a proposed Middleton zoning board?
It doesn't have it all right now.
Not on here, so,
When I tried to look it up on the website, we couldn't find it either, 'cause that was one of the problems that Blair had. We had our first. Oh, here we go, close. This.
well,
Yeah. Does it say?
yes, here you go. So, Article 1 was, are you in favor of the adoption amendment proposed by the standing board members of ordinance as a amend Article 5 of the zoning district uses section B to add paragraph 5, delineating the maximum, yeah, so this first one. So delineating the maximum height of fences to be 48 inches. Right? That's what we said, it's 48.
Townwide, 48 inches.
Up to 48 inches?
Well, because what is it? No, because it's only Lake District was 48 inches.
It was only, the requirement was only,
It was like 40.
Well, what happened is,
the purpose of the 48 inches around the Sunrise Lake area was because that if somebody, so people's view would not be obstructed. Now, if somebody needed to put a taller fence, obviously they can go through the ZBA, and then that way, their abutters would be notified, and they would get a say in the fence. And, I mean, if you're sitting there and you got a view for 100 years, and all of a sudden somebody puts up a 10-foot fence, it's not right.
I'm just wondering about the person with the existing 42-inch fence in the Sunrise Lake District
Yeah,
who doesn't want to replace the person with the fence.
They don't have
yeah.
to, because it would be.
It's a grandfathered fence.
Well, I'm just saying, that.
No, it's a good point, yeah.
But this is specifically adding it to the Sunrise Lake District.
Okay, if that's what it's doing, then that's fine for me.
Yes, because it says,
That's,
5A basic use, section B to add paragraph 5. Section B is Sunrise Lake District.
and the reason for the increase was because it just makes it easier, because it's in increments of 4, I think, or something like
You
that.
can't find,
No, by foot. It's just easy to buy an 8-foot board.
you can't find a 42-inch
Well,
fence.
there's nothing in here that we got, it talks
Street that you gotta cut.
there's nothing in
Scrap
here
wood.
regarding fencing
You get the
because of
lot on
the
that.
Sunrise Lake Village District.
I didn't hear you.
There's nothing in here under the Sunrise Lake District that refers to fencing in this section. That's why I said we were gonna add 5, fencing specifically for that.
It's funny, because it was always in there, but I'm not
No,
gonna,
no, but not under the, not under the.
not on
Sunrise-
specifically,
Not under the Sunrise Lake.
Well, that's funny because because it
it's
used,
been the whole
it
controversy.
used to say it, which, but
Huh?
then Carl came to me because
Take that out.
I asked him about certain fences that were like in our neighborhood.
I know it is 48.
And he's like, well, it doesn't say that they can't have anything above, like they can't have, like, there's a couple of people have 8-foot fences. And I was like, hey, like, they're not supposed to, did you look into that? And he said, well, if you look at our ordinances, it doesn't say that they can't. Which I was like, no, because I remember seeing it.
Yeah,
Well,
I just, where.
That's a good point. He might have I don't want to get off in the weeds on this, but fence is a structure, definition of structure. A fence is it an enclosure? If it's just a side thing, does that count as a fence?
And that's where in the definitions of structure,
Oh, that
the debate came.
That's where it is, I think,
Because
structure.
if it's considered a structure, you have to get a building permit. You used to have to get a building permit for a fence, which
And
is,
and the definition of structure says.
Is it a wooden fence?
Says something
No,
about fence.
serious. Is it a wooden fence, stone fence? What is it?
well, in this case, it's a wooden fence,
Well,
which is.
I'm just saying, if I have an 8-foot wall, that may not be a fence.
Well, yeah.
And that's why this, what's his name, Justin, had to get a variance to his fence. And.
But down there,
Hassan, I guess.
he's down in Nicola, yeah.
Yeah, if you want to,
By the dam.
Yeah, well, he wanted to, but he wanted to cut privacy in his yard. I don't know.
Right, but he had to get a variance.
Because it was above the,
No,
It's
it's
under,
right.
all right, the
right about
42
right.
inches is under structure in the definitions. It says, this shall exclude pathways, driveways, walkways, parking lots, whether paved or not, fences, wide poles less than 45 feet in height, and walls less than 42 inches in height, which do not obstruct the driveway line of sight. That's a wall. A wall is different than a fence.
Good.
So this specifically is for the Sunrise Lake Village District,
Yeah.
You know, that was changed.
which is, right, but I'm just saying.
Yeah.
If you proposed amendment 13, and this is where I was having a problem, says, are you in favor of amending the definition of structures to change the word to clarify what structures and applicability sections on laws. So that passed, but what was the wording supposed to be? I know, and I just,
Well, okay, so can we just, okay,
yeah.
can we go back to, so Article 1 is going back on the ballot, which is, this is specifically
For the Lake District.
is the Lake District. So we might want to put section, or we might want to say when it says section B, Sunrise Lake District.
So 5A main zoning district uses, so would you put like?
No, then you put section B is Sunrise Lake District. And then it's to add paragraph 5. You don't have a paragraph 5, and it's specifically to delineating the maximum to say that you can only have effects of 48 inches.
Up to.
I guess you could say up to.
I mean, that figure good.
So,
You're covered.
So open the word doc. I'm gonna draw it here. Well, no, I'm just trying to help.
No, we appreciate it. Let's get this done.
Do all this so we can do it.
Yeah. I mean, we want it to be clear so that people understand when they're voting what we're talking about, what it means.
So,
just gonna copy and paste.
just copy and paste that, we're gonna update, we're gonna add the updates. So that way, you don't have to know what we, what we're, remember what we're doing. All right, so you're going to say, after this section B, you're going to say,
Section B, paragraph 5.
no, section B, you're gonna put, comma, we're gonna say, actually it should be B, period, Sunrise Lake District. And then it's, right, to add paragraph 5, delineating the maximum height of a fence to be be 8 foot. Oh, I don't think, so you can say up to 1, but I mean maximum, it's just saying what the maximum height is gonna be, so I don't think you have to say up to.
Okay.
So I think that's it, so we're just identifying where it is, and I think this by adding the Sunrise Lake Village, that might.
That will trigger everybody else in the town to be like,
Okay, that's
Out of
better,
here.
Does everybody agree with that? Okay, so let's go back to your other list that we had. So we had Article 2, what was the other one that didn't pass? I guess, you know which one's on?
Yeah,
family
4.
compound.
No,
So-
yeah, 4.
All right,
The
so let's
fancy compound.
copy that one over.
What's
So
that?
1, 4,
And,
now let's, 1 and 4? Oh,
Yeah, those are the only two, everything else,
great.
yeah.
Look at that, we're moving right on.
So,
So, you put that
there was a thought that should we add two-family compounds if this amendment doesn't pass, to get deed restrictions placed on family compounds? Because that was one thing we wanted to add this year, but we had decided to get rid of family compounds entirely.
I think we were told that we couldn't do that.
Okay, then fine.
All right,
Let's,
Or maybe not that we couldn't, but it would be like,
well, it's not, it's,
So,
Yeah.
so what I would say, so this is what it says, are you in favor of the adoption of amendment number 4 as proposed by the planning board? Amend Article 23, family compounds to be received entirely. So I guess what we would do is, I think it stays as such, it's the explanation that we want to put is saying, because of the latest updates or the most recent updates with ADUs, it's basically an ADU has become, it's more user-friendly than a family compound.
this is far more restrictive, so we want to
Yes.
take the restrictions
Yeah.
away from the people.
yeah, we'll use that.
Yeah.
So who's gonna write that up?
Yeah, so just put a note down,
Eh?
just a note for this.
We just have to better educate people.
Right, so for family compound, just basically say, family compound is more restricted.
Could, for the state ones, could we simply put these following 50 amendments to our zoning are required because changes at the state level?
I don't know, so.
And then explanations of only the 3 that we're changing?
Well, can we do, so,
So family
I
compound.
think we should include the explanation, even the state ones, so they
Just
know.
write that up and say.
And if they have a complaint, they can call the city reps.
They're
And it's rural friendly, I don't know.
You know,
So-
I mean,
Sell it up. Yeah, no, I agree.
We don't have to come up with the whole garbage, but, so I think.
I agree with the direction that I agree with the direction you're
But I
going
think-
in.
No,
yeah.
but I think part of it is like, and I agree, Kate, that, but I don't necessarily know that we can put on the ballot that these are state mandates, but I think we
Yeah.
can.
We get them whether you vote for them or not.
But I mean, I think we can, you know, we have the right of holding in town, people can pick it up and say, following ordinances on the ballot are state mandates, but, and then the bottom three, these three are recommendations
Recommendations
from
from the planning board. That's what I would go
Well,
with.
I've been asking, and I have gotten a
Can we-
clear question, and I don't know if this would be for like legal, but in Mass, when I would go any of the like warrant articles, it would like write out the whole warrant article like we do, but then it would say for like the yes or no, it would say like, for even like the budget for like the school, it would say, yes, approve the budget for this, or no, the budget goes to default of this. So it like clears it up, like you're saying yes, and yes means this, you're saying no, and no means this. So it would be like for the warrant article 1, yes means,
Oh, I mean, so
so if you say yes, I want to have 48-inch fence height
I
in
mean,
the Lake District, no, I want to keep it to 42.
should Sunrise, what is it? Sunrise Lake Zone. Well, no, leave the village out of it. It's not the village district. Yeah. It's Sunrise Zone. It's whatever we call our zone.
Yeah.
Is that what we call it?
That's what it says in section B in our book.
Okay, that's what it should be.
Yes, I wanted to know.
Yeah, so you could ask
if it-
where that.
Well, I did, he said we would have to ask the legal,
Oh, okay. So
but I didn't know like.
these all have to go through legal anyways.
Yeah, well, and then I didn't know, like, if you guys asked legal, like, if we could have it uniform, so all of the, all of those, like, all the warrant articles would be kind of the same, or like a quick explanation. Because I think that also would help people.
Well, we also don't want to have a 47-page ballot.
Right.
What we can do,
Well, no, because it would just be like one sentence, really, of like, yes, I want to go to default budget, or no, I want to.
We don't have the numbers.
Well, yeah, we don't have numbers, but we have, like, no, I don't want to go to, I don't want to have a family compound anymore, or yes, I want to keep it, or vice versa.
I mean, some of them, I think like the warrant, the payment compound, that's a yes or no, it's not. I don't think you can put on there and say, you know, you can't say there, it's more restrictive, I think that's just.
All we can say is like, yes, I want to rescind the ordinance, no, I want to keep it.
Which is kind of.
what we can do,
Well, no, but I'm just saying, so that, but I mean, as far as the other ones,
nothing.
wait a minute, John.
No,
As far as the ones that are state mandated, I don't think we should bother doing any,
Selling of them, right,
because they.
That's right.
mandates.
right. And we should, I agree with what you said. These are from the state, and these are our three.
So we have three.
However, we need to upsell getting rid of family compound, because it sounds like a wonderful thing.
Right, so wait a minute, I just want to ask this question. Do we have 2 or 3 cases? We only have 2.
I thought then it's only two.
You said, Robin, there was only 2 that didn't pass.
There's,
I will check my book when I go home.
I think there's only 2.
We only went with two because there were so many state ones. We
Right.
thought we were gonna have 30 state ones, and we may have another 20 next year, or whatever it is.
2026, it might be, you don't have to do anything, because it's taken over.
Yeah.
So, okay.
Well, I recommend we put down explanation, even the state manual, when we talk to the selectmen, saying,
Well,
No,
we're
I
going
know,
to.
but that's fine, but I mean,
For that, we're going to, I was just saying.
I don't think we gotta have a one with them, and yes or no. Yes means this, no means that, for the state mandate. No.
yeah, I'm not saying it's gonna be such thing, but I'm just saying, we have a separate sheet, we post it, and say, this is why we did it. Now, on the ballot, we have to keep legal, because legal has, when we read, it makes no sense, and I go to the ballot, but I don't know what it means either, because I can't understand it. But if we make it simple, we post it, we put it out, the can say, no, I want to keep the fences as is in Sunrise Lake. That's what the town wants.
If that's what they want, then that's
And
fine.
it
A lot
puts-
of people did, well, I think, I like the idea of adding in Sunrise Lake.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
Because a lot of people don't know,
They're thinking like
they don't know what's.
Yeah, why would you need a 4-foot fence? It would be ridiculous.
Right, rather than just making keep my dog in.
My dog can jump over that.
Well,
My dog
Yeah,
would.
just, you know, I'm trying to get the win on this one, because it's an easy, but it just,
Well, we think it's easy, John, but you know.
well, no, I'm just saying, if you put,
Well, I mean, it's only easy for the person when they go to, yeah, and when they go to get a fence and then they find out that they're stuck with a 42-inch fence.
right, well, I'm trying to go for the people who don't follow this, they don't subscribe to John Milne's vlogcast, and read his, Twitter account. It's like, oh, Sunrise Lake, I don't live in Sunrise Lake, I don't care, boom, vote yes, no.
Okay, so can I mean, in effort to.
Yes, let's.
He's on TikTok,
So we discussed everything for that, so we can go ahead and close the public hearing?
No, we're gonna continue the public hearing till the next,
Public.
till the, are we gonna just,
Oh, because we have to fix everything.
don't we have more to, we gotta get that, this isn't the final version, right?
So we will like.
So we need another public hearing, or are we approving this as, whatever you want, but.
So it will have to be a continuation. When do we have to have our next, when's our deadline for the hearings?
Which one? There's no-
Cause so, this is not the form we're giving to the lawyers,
No.
right? And that's fine, I'm up for, I want this to be easy, and I don't want 8 million meetings.
February 3rd is the last day for official copy of final proposed to adopt the amended zoning ordinance in the town.
Well, we won't meet again until, we wouldn't meet again until after that, so.
No, do we have a special meeting, or?
February 2nd is the last day to hold the final public hearing and determine the final form.
I thought we were gonna sneak in, sorry.
Yeah, it's coming up fast, though.
So
It
I would
always
say,
does.
like, maybe January 29th to recess the public hearing until January 29th, as a Thursday, that's 3 weeks from tonight.
Yeah, that works for me. Anybody have an issue other than seeing the pricing month?
Having a second meeting, yeah, it's okay, we can do that.
So I'll make a motion that we recess the public hearing until January 29th at 6 PM.
Everyone second that?
I second it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Because then we'll have it written up as to how it would be presented on the ballot.
Who is going to have this written up? You're gonna get some feedback from Blair, and that's gonna come back here.
And basically then what you're gonna do, Christine, is put it in this format. That's what it is,
Well, we have
If
to-
you help with that, let me know.
When does the lawyer look at it?
The lawyer will look at it once we.
After that,
after that,
February
after
3rd
we
thing.
approve it.
The check, and this, and
And then,
then,
I mean, they make their updates.
and when we gotta meet before the selectmen?
It would be before, whatever.
Well, we don't have to have a hearing.
No, it would be in
Before
March,
March.
like, it would be like the week before the election. And the election is in like March 2nd.
No, I'm confused, because this has to be sent to the printers and everything else, so when does the town clerk have to get this?
Oh, well, no, that, yeah, the town clerk has to have it by.
February 3rd.
I had a picture of that, instead of so much stuff.
Yeah, it says, February 2nd is last day for the plan to hold a final public hearing on adoption zoning, so the planning board must also determine the final form. Because one day before the deadline, we will finalize the district to town clerk on February 3rd, so yes, February 3rd is the due.
And then people can review it there, right?
So I guess what we can do, this is what we can do, Christine, is we try to get it in this format, send it over to legal, and get that back before our next public hearing, because for January 29th, we only have until like Monday to give it to Roy.
We should send what we have over and say we are getting guidance from them for one or two other things.
Yeah, come on.
They approved the ones we've already,
I think that's fine, I think, so, if you want, I can pull together and send it over to you. If you send me this, email me this, then I know what format it's in, and I can do the ones that need to be in the ballot for the updates. You can review it, and then send it to legal. And what we'll do, I think what we'll do is, we'll include that change for SB two, the SB 281 and the 290, one's House Bill 281, SB, whatever, you know, those two private roads.
The private and the
Right.
class
We
6
can find
roads.
out how we think we want, and send it to legal and say, are you good with this? I mean, we don't necessarily need later, we're gonna just do it, we don't need to reach out to ask later.
Good point.
We're just gonna send it to legal, so we don't need to send anything later.
That's a good point.
it was legal as a problem, so we said
We
it.
have, well, legal's gonna have to find a say, it's not gonna be later.
Yeah, and he's gonna say before, I mean,
Absolutely.
there's a lot of questions that you guys have asked that he's like, for legal. for the community.
I'm just
That's
saying,
fine.
if we send it out-
Anything to make one less step for everybody, because
So if I think.
you guys are taking on a lot.
We can probably get this situated, I can probably get this worked on in the next, by the end of the weekend, and so we can probably get out to legal next week. And get, obviously, they're gonna take a couple days with it.
I'm just saying,
They
if
have
we,
to find something so they can change.
but if legal has an issue, we still have time to ask Blair or fix it
Well,
ourselves.
we're not gonna swear anything.
So we're addressing all of these.
Legal would trump lawyer.
No, I know, but if legal has an issue with an article,
Yeah.
we have to revise.
Well, they would, I don't think they would suggest, or I would hope they would.
Well,
because that's-
Yeah, I can recall times where they have sent things back and had them
Say, we
reworded.
have time.
Right,
I don't want to
right.
update it more, I want to get it done, but if we have time.
And if you want to say that,
Oh,
no, along the other one.
I just sent it to you, but I'll.
So we recessed that, okay.
Can this be just scanned in and reformatted and retyped? Or do you guys have to?
We literally only need certain pieces of it, Katie.
I'm just saying, is it easier than it looks to do?
I think we have it in Word already.
So you're good, you guys are good,
I think he sent it to us in Word stand.
so you guys are good.
So if someone has it in Word, if I have it in Word, it's probably in Word, you can just forward that to me in Word.
Did I do it right now?
Sorry, Ron.
So you guys are good with the words on the, are we also addressing the subdivision regulation applications and the timeframes there? We only need to approve these at a public hearing, it doesn't need to be done. We can save these for any time through the year, but,
No, so why don't we address those at the next meeting, because that's continuation of public hearing.
all right, knowing that if we don't get to them, we can put them off to another hearing.
But does it have to be a public
Future.
hearing, or can we just have a meeting?
You have to have a public hearing, yeah,
What was it that was like?
No.
Either.
No, I was wrong about that. Anything in a subdivision or developmental regulation has to be done at a public hearing.
Then we can just make our.
The things we can change I apologize. Thing we can change at the public hearing, and I didn't mention it tonight, is the procedures, rules of procedures. We can change that at a public meeting.
And we'll write up our summary. segment
But-
after.
This ballot thing is much more important to get done now.
Robin, and I don't know if we need to do anything more on this for next, we have to post it January 29th. So you'll say that that's a continuation of the public hearing from tonight.
We should include, as Kate suggested, in case anyone has any comments on those. Like, we're updating the procedures, we're updating it, so people know.
Oh, yeah, by 675, you're supposed to let people know what's in the, you don't have to put the full text.
No.
If I'm reading 675:7, Roman numeral 2 correctly, you don't have to put you just adequate statement describing the proposal and where the full proposal is on file.
Exactly.
Well, we're just doing a proposal amendment.
All right.
We are, but it,
So it's, but I mean, so it's a what was the other thing, proposed,
To the subdivision regulation.
amendments to subdivision regulations.
We're gonna do that the same year.
Yep.
But if not, we don't have to do the subdivision
Right, but I mean,
regulation. We have some leeway.
If we, at least
That's
we
right.
listed it to say, yes, so we
Yeah.
can address
Just
it.
put it on the agenda that if we can't get to it, fine. It's, you know, but let people know that we're actually doing that in case they want to run back in once. Already does.
That's right. You're right.
People can't complain we're not.
But if they want to know, they can request a letter of our agenda.
Absolutely, I'm all for it. But no, we get the basic topics, they want to know specifics, they get asked, or they come.
Thank you for this. So where are we at on the agenda?
Minutes.
We're on review minutes.
So the December 18th, 2025.
Speaking of agendas and minutes,
But
get to them today. I don't know if this is gonna be typical of the next couple of months, but I know you're talking, and I think it's a good idea to get the agenda a week ahead of time. But physically, I just couldn't do it.
Totally
I don't
understand.
know if anything's gonna change. So maybe
I am grateful for
somebody else can do it. You want, maybe Kate, can you do it?
I can do an agenda, but I'll put stuff I want to talk about on it.
Well,
no, I guess the idea is whatever one that, you know, I mean, confidentially.
We can add that to the rules of
Last
procedure.
month, and then Kate will add, and if anybody has anything, they need to let me know.
But my agenda would be like a week ago.
what's that?
My agenda would be like from a week ago. I would like,
That's fine, but if any land use forms come in, I can let you know.
that's true.
So you can put land use inquiries, D, any. thing that
Any
comes-
other business?
Yeah, comes, you know. We don't have to discuss it, we can wait till next month.
And we also, in last month's meeting, I agreed with you that I made the motion specified it's 950 square feet, but it's actually in it, so we're covered anyway.
Yeah, we talked about it.
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes from December 18, 2025.
Second.
all of them here.
So the Savage Wildland Adjustment, that's.
Yeah, so Jack Savage is gonna get back to us if he wants to pursue that, he's not sure now.
In the
He
same-
told me yesterday.
In the same with Brutal.
And Sandy Brutal wants to do a lot line adjustment, but she's having a hard time explaining to me what she wants to do, so I told her to
Okay.
talk to her husband, come back, and they'll help
Means
us
of
all.
course.
What's going on with the hot dog lady?
Hot dog lady, I wrote to her and told her what you guys had talked about, Department of Transportation, and she should fill out the application online and contact information for him. And that's where I left it.
Any update on?
Well, she needs to go to the website by Peloton.
Yeah, no, that's in the letter.
Okay.
A copy of the letters in the planning board file.
Should we have hot dogs the next discussion? I'll bring them in.
Well, I think that's just
Starts in
the
the
whole
winter.
business.
It's called barbecue season.
Yeah, sounds good. Big fun.
Bonfire, you still live.
Okay, so new business, Mark Davies, Director of
Yeah,
Regional
I'll just-
Planner, Master
he's
Plan Consultant.
Too busy now to come see us, and I guess he says his boss is gonna be reaching out to us, I'll tag along there.
Okay.
And then the planning lunch is at noon, that might be interesting, 22nd, if anybody has time.
I signed up for that one.
Yeah,
Ooh.
that one sounds like it should be real interesting. They're gonna talk about Newmarket, did you see that? Yeah.
Innovational housing.
Old business, the rules and procedures, we can do that for, we haven't had that written up yet.
Our February.
Yeah, but that's another one of those things, I think it's great, we need to do it, but.
Do you have-
Work part?
So February, for the February meeting, that's the February.
No, I want to discuss, I mean, if,
I'd love to get it done by then, but with all the.
do you have the notes? I can type them up.
Yeah.
No?
You what?
Do you have the notes for what we came up with on our other rules of
The,
procedures?
Yeah, yeah. I
Do you
mean, actually, where we left it, I think like 2 months ago, so I was gonna.
Type them up,
incorporate the things
yeah.
that we talked about and come up with another draft.
yeah.
Yeah, so I think that's what we should do, but
All right, well, when you can get to it, if you can't get to it before the, it can be done after town meeting.
Yeah.
I mean,
Fine,
you
I
know,
just didn't know, okay, and that's fine.
Between now and the next,
I
when
think
all this
between
is
now
done, I
and
know it's not gonna
it
happen.
just, I just don't want it to drop off the radar. I would,
Between now and April, you're gonna be busy, because we're gonna have all the elections, and then once elections are done, anything that has changed, she's gonna have to update the, well,
And it's not just that, it's member of the budget committee.
then it's everything else, yeah.
Assessing, I'm assessing.
Yeah. Mine too.
You wanna see my list of things to do done that I send to the BOS every month? No, I love it.
oh,
You can wallpaper.
no, I know how hard she works, and
I
I,
love it, I love
And
it.
she's
but
gotta-
it's just-
All right, so we're just gonna look at that within the next, say, we'll say,
keep it,
we'll try and get it for first quarter of this year, if not, we'll get it into.
keep it on the agenda.
Yeah.
Did I commit to making the agenda, or is that just a joke?
I don't
Oh.
know.
I think she knows, she can.
Well, after elections, you went to,
Hey,
No.
as chair.
No.
I think you should.
Why? Oh, she must be running for office. Oh, did we learn something here? Oh.
No, I was told I'm not allowed to sign up for anything else.
All right, so,
That doesn't mean
So-
you have to
So-
talk about it. I think you should draft the agenda.
wait a minute.
I can
I
try.
think that's fine. I'm giving Kate.
You know, Rob has an excellent job making.
But I would also put on it the CIP, the capital improvement program, and I would also put on it the impact fees, because I think we need to discuss impact fees on it, and keep it on our radar, and I think the capital improvement program needs to be done every 8 years. You're gonna say, well, we can do that 8 years, but you gotta keep it on your radar.
You have to have a hearing to do.
Well, you know, it's
No,
also.
but I think part of what Kate's saying is, you want it, if we keep it on the list, then it's in front of us, and then we can say, okay, we gotta
Yeah.
stop working.
It's been 3 years, so it's good time to
And I
dust
agree,
it off.
because it's one of those things, like you said, we keep the hot dog, you know, it's always old business, okay, there's nothing going on with it, so it's like, good, but we have to put a lot about it, so, yeah, I agree, Kate.
Yeah,
I agree.
It does make sense.
I mean, again, we dust it off in 3 years.
And I guess-
nothing happens.
And the other thing, like, we could put on there for kind of like what these speakers, this is like zoning, zoning learning updates, until we get past election and after they get updated out online or whatever, then they can come off and then we don't put it back on there again until 2 months later, we just stop working on next year. But you know what I'm saying? That way, these things they don't get, and we can say, oh, Robin, where are you?
Yeah.
Not that we expect, but where are you? And you can say, hey, I'm struggling with this,
Yeah.
this is how, whatever, I think that's, it's, good. It doesn't get lost. It doesn't necessarily mean we need to talk about it, but it's there as a reminder.
Yeah, I like that. So, manufactured homes, short-term
Oh
rentals.
my gosh, yes.
Those, okay, so for the, planning board and for Blair, we signed the agreement, so we'll be able to use the money that we didn't have to use this past year, because a lot of it's covered with grants. So with that, it's kind of helping us, because we're able to hopefully tackle a lot more this year, and hopefully I can get my stuff together and be a little bit more organized. So, yeah, and depending on how much the state hits us with mandates. So the things that I had listed for him, was to prepare a new ordinance for manufactured housing, prepare a new ordinance for short-term rentals, Airbnbs, VRBOs, all that. Don't say anything about what.
No, when afterwards, I'm
Okay.
probably.
Update and revise existing ordinances for workforce housing. So we're gonna look at that, make sure it's still in lines with everything. Update and revise existing ordinances for multifamily housing and commercial zoning districts. Review town ordinances for compliance with recent changes to state RSA's. And then general, so that was like everything that was in our agreement. So we're gonna start working on that, hopefully, probably after elections, because we're gonna be too busy with hearings. I was thinking today, instead of having Blair drive up here, because are we paying for his travel and everything?
I would suspect we're not paying, we'd have to look at the bill, but I suspect we're not paying first.
Are we paying for his travel time and everything? Is he not?
I haven't seen a bill.
Okay.
Yeah, but we can,
But, and also just to kind of be nice to the poor guy, because he goes all the way down to Cambridge, so it's like 2 hours. And also because I felt like he was focused on the clock when he was with us to get out of here, so he wasn't getting home at 1 in the morning. Instead of having him drive all the way up here all the time, just to have him zoom in.
And instead of him doing that, you want him to,
I'm gonna have him do like Teams meetings with us instead of,
can it come over the TV?
yeah. And it should be able to like come right up on the TV screen. So,
And if it can't, we need to use money and buy the stuff that will get it on
I
there.
agree, because, so, and I think with.
Because he
that-
does not need to be here for those meetings.
No, he doesn't, and I think it would be much better time, I don't think he'll be able to rush
It's got a time spent.
better time to spend, and then I think, I don't have to worry about him saying like, oh, I can't make it on that day because I have somewhere else to be and I can't.
I agree, I think that's a brilliant idea, thank you for suggesting that.
Yeah, we have the technology.
And I think we'll be able to get him more by doing the Zooms versus all of that.
I agree.
So as a note on that, I guess this is what you're saying, discussed with what Blair and whatnot. I was upstairs this week with, having stuff up in South Rockland, but it happened to be when Avatar was in the building. And we had a short discussion, not much or whatever, but about short-term rentals. Chad was very good. He's like, he'd say, was it Madison?
Yeah.
He'd say Madison. Madison is just, you want to pull it, did they just put it implemented last year or this year?
It's effective, I think, 2024, just starting.
Yeah, so and it has to do with short-term rentals, and it's basically, what they do is, when there's, and correct me if I'm wrong, I'm gonna fill in the blanks, because I was, like, he said, Madison is requiring people to register with the town, $25 if you have a short-term rental. It's basically, you know, you register, and it helps along with saying you're registering, saying you are registered, I think, with the state,
Yeah.
something like that. Because our concern is those, do those get included, like from meals and rooms tax? And Chad said, yes, it would be considered meals and rooms tax. And granted, you know, Middleton, we're small, we do get, you know, like 180,000, but it could contribute to maybe us getting some more.
Yeah.
And it's not to say that, it was commented about, is this thing we have on file that, you know, 10 Lakeshore Drive is an Airbnb or is it a short-term rental, because then, you know, you need to contact the homeowner, not the people who are staying there. You know, basically, you know, if there's a number of violations, then you can say, hey, you know,
It's good for police.
you keep, yes, right, it's who they should contact in regards to, you know, any issues going on there or whatnot. And again, it's not like you're overseeing anything other than you saying you need to register with you identifying as the Airbnb, we identify or short-term rental, and it's registered in the state, because we're just looking at it to, it's.
Well, and it behooves of that property owner, because the more revenue the town can get in other ways other than taxation.
Yeah, we're not taxing you anymore, it's just, but it also helps us to, potentially, maybe we're gonna get more money on the meals and rooms tax.
I gotta pay $750 to register my dog, so why not somebody register for Airbnb?
And so,
Why did Madison put this in?
Madison had a big room, I think, with,
because I believe, if Chad says, I think at least 75% or 50% of their are short-term rentals.
yeah, it's huge.
Okay, well, that's good for Madison, but we don't have a home here.
We know that for sure.
But I
We
mean,
say
it's not
this one
like
again?
well, I'm just saying, it's something that Blair can look at as Madison as an example. Because I think there was, what was that, out of the Kearsarge Lighting, which is Conway, which is kind of weird, I think it's called Kearsarge Lighting District, which is part of North Conway or Conway. And they do have like a short-term rental. Because I think part of it was also to say, when Chad was talking about, like I said, we kind of bounced moving around, but, you know, like one town, you might be the Conway one, it's like, and Blair was talking about this, is like, you can be a short-term rental, but it has to be your primary residence. Like, you can't,
Like,
which
in
way,
Cambridge.
Because he says like, yeah, I'm gonna be out of town for 2 weeks traveling, but I'll put my place on up for Airbnb. Okay, but I mean, so then, I don't know what the pros and cons of all of it is, but I know that that's also an option that they discussed and talked about, or how towns.
So did Chad say that, does Avatar then assess that property differently?
Nope.
So there's really no,
No
there's
impact.
no bad thing other than they give you $25.
Right,
And register.
it potentially,
We're also, and these are short-term, these are small businesses, right? We want to encourage this, small businesses, does bring more money in town.
well, the idea is if they're registered, we may be getting more money on the meals and rooms tax. Because right now, we just probably get a certain percentage because we're a little colonial town and we have no Italy, whatever. But if you have more places that are registered as like an Airbnb, rooms tax, we might get more money.
Right, but the triggers, that's up to the state to assess that tax. And what happens when the homeowner, the property owner, doesn't pay that? The state will come after them, correct?
I guess, that's a state issue.
Yeah, if
Well,
they
it's not,
get-
exactly, it's a state issue. We get the money from the state as we assess it, right? So where's our, I mean,
So what would happen is they would have to, so I have a neighbor down the road from me who does Airbnb. If she properly and legally registers with the state, every time she collects money from those Airbnbs, a percentage goes to the state.
yes,
If she doesn't, she pockets everything and nothing goes to the state.
yes,
If the state finds out, then they go after her.
yes.
They would find her and then she'd have to,
Okay, again, I hear the state does this.
it's,
We don't, sounds
That's
like.
not- Again, so why are we getting involved?
because we want to ensure that everybody that is Airbnb and short-term rentaling registers with the state, so then that way the town gets.
I thought there was a registration fee for the town.
No,
Reg-
you,
no.
yeah, you would register with the town as Airbnb.
So we get $25 from each B&B that registers with us.
Okay, but we're getting involved in the process, we don't
But,
have a plan. I mean, I'm just trying to.
Well, and so we can, this is what we're saying,
no,
we
we're
can
saying
research and look
this is what
into it.
Madison does, and part of the reason they're doing this is, you know, so, and he said, it's a small fee, $25, which is not, but it also identifies that, oh, that's an Airbnb, a short-term rental, so the people who are there do not live there, so those, that's who they're not gonna contact. If our police or fire, you know, have some issues, they know to contact
So I'm sure then,
Christine Maynard, who lives in Massachusetts or whatever.
Okay, well, it's just, we don't need the $25 for them to register.
Why not, yeah.
we're keeping track of things, where,
Christine says she got to register her dog.
you gotta register my dog.
Okay, well, we're going on the modified under the fish license. My point is, we're getting involved in the process, we don't have to play it, and now we're just getting
Oh,
money.
no.
We're not saying that's what we're going to do, we're just
Gonna
saying
I,
that that's what
I,
research.
I know we're researching, I've done the research too, but just, I don't want us to get necessarily involved with this if we don't have to.
And so what if us getting involved with this and getting more people to properly register with the state and register with us, and we can keep track, what if instead of 100,000 of revenue, we get 250,000 of revenue, and it can help offset and pay for
That's
things?
still up to the state collecting the revenue.
Oh, we have to look into this. I'd like to know more.
I mean,
I think John's got a valid point. I also have 3 questions when we're,
I get
when
it,
we
but I think it's,
exhausted this
worth
topic.
looking into thoroughly and using other towns and what they do, especially.
Because what is the
like-
town's interest in taxing and identifying B&Bs? And we need to discover that.
If we were Madison.
I've got a lot to learn about it, actually.
Madison has a plethora of Airbnbs, and they have an issue. That's why they're doing
We
it.
have an issue,
I don't think that an issue is, Madison is or was a small sleepy town, and now all of a sudden they have all of these short-term rentals that I'm sure is using their fire, EMS, police, and everything else, and they need to find ways to.
I know, the little thing that I've heard is, and for me, it's kind of a good thing, is that B&Bs take up space that would be rental properties for families.
Yeah.
And so we're not getting kids in school, but we're getting vacationers.
but the rental property.
So, I mean, but in Madison, that might be a big deal. They may want
Well,
housing for their
So,
kids to
and
move
here's
into.
another thing to look at it this way. One of the reasons why the state has put all these mandates in place is because they need housing for people that
Yeah,
live
that's-
here year round. And where you have all these people coming up and buying vacation homes to Airbnb and taking up the year-round houses, now we're being mandated and forced to change the way that we want to live by.
To change our rural environment.
We have to change our rural environment to force us
Accommodate,
to allow, multifamily homes, to force us to potentially lower our.
Because the housing stock is gone.
Yeah,
to-
to reduce
yeah.
from 5 acres to 2 acres potentially, or from an acre to a half of an acre in other areas. So the state's putting all these mandates in, partially because of all of these short-term rentals.
So it's good.
In the lack of.
I'll just add that, I think other towns are starting to look at this. So I don't think, we're the first ones that were saying whatever. And it's not to say we're going to do anything, but it's kind of nice to see, what are some of these other towns do?
Right.
What does Milton do? What
And-
does Wakefield do? because, New Durham.
And we are gonna find, and we're gonna find out too, aren't
And,
we?
and I'm all for getting information, I'm just trying to get the perspective. If the state is throwing these mandates down, we're reacting by just throwing mandates at our small business people and our
Oh,
renters.
we don't wanna discourage small people.
No, I'm just saying,
Entrepreneurs.
they're property owners, they have the right to do what they want with their property, correct?
Within reason.
To an extent, yeah.
Within
I
reason.
don't have the right to put a toxic waste out in my backyard. I don't. Or something else. I can't put the dream llama farm in my backyard. The point is though, these are people who are complying, they're doing things, it's just like,
Nobody's
Well-
saying you're not complying.
The-
Okay,
the-
then why-
So if you open,
Why do I have to take my dog license?
we can remove the dog
So-
license if you want.
can I just say, one-
It's a state mandate.
this is another argument I heard.
The town
That if,
dog license?
that if Motel 8 put up a motel right here on town property, they would have to pay meals taxes, so it's an issue of fairness. So other people are renting their rooms and they don't have to pay the same tax as Motel 8. That is one argument I heard. I'm not sure I agree with it,
Well,
but that's
it's
just
just
an
like
argument.
the whole thing with, like, the regular taxi cab drivers versus the
Ubers.
Ubers.
Yeah.
Well, the trick is, if they're complying with the law, doing their meals and taxes, and the state's managing it, we have problems with managing the laws in our own zoning ordinances.
Good point.
So we're adding something else
3 quick
that,
questions.
that complicates it. Now, I just want to keep the perspective, why do we need this?
We may not, but
We may
why
decide
not?
we don't.
So look,
Right.
this is how I feel about this. At the very end of the day, especially where I am chair, up until March,
What's this deal there?
let's pass it over to somebody else. But, so, at any rate, as long as I'm chair, I want to make sure that we are looking at every single avenue of what is best for this town and community, and not half-ass it, and not do it because we said, well, we didn't have time to do it. So when people come to us and say, we're surrounded by all these Airbnb people, and they're making, $2,000-3,000 a week, and they're making hand over fist, and what do we get out of it with taxpayers? And now the state's mandating us to do all this stuff and grow our town and blah, blah, blah. When we could potentially get revenue from these Airbnb people and how we can make sure and keep track of these Airbnbs, that we're getting all the revenue that is owed to the town to help offset the people that are on fixed
We
incomes.
can also chase the Airbnbs away by putting an unnecessary fee on.
Well, then fine, then so be it.
Sell their house.
It doesn't solve the problem though. The problem
But
is,
so you know what, you're not gonna create world peace, you're not gonna cure cancer, but we're gonna do what's best for the community.
Am I gonna get my questions
Yeah.
in? All right, the first question was, is if we don't have manufactured housing, those manufactured housing has to go on 5-acre lots. I'm assuming that, because that's our minimum.
Well,
If somebody wanted to put in manufactured housing there, we don't have any other regulations. They'd have to do it 5-acre lots.
It would go according to that.
so when you say a manufactured home.
Because I read the law and it doesn't say anything about the size of a lot size, right? And if they created a park, the lot size would have to be what we have in our town right now, which is 5
So they would have
acres.
to have a minimum of 5 acres.
That's just throwing it out there. Second question.
No, I want to ask this question. You're not not gonna tell me, wait a minute, I wanna make sure I understand what you're saying is if someone wants to come into town.
Yeah.
And they wanna put in a manufactured lot, I mean,
Housing park,
they have to have a minimum of 5 acres.
yeah, because
Okay, and
there's
then they
no,
can have-
there's,
Then however many, then they can have so many houses.
how many,
Mobile home,
Yeah.
manufactured houses in there. they can have-
because there is that regulation, but that doesn't stipulate the size of the
Okay,
lots.
I know, I just
Yeah.
wanted to- all right, thanks.
That's, no, I don't know if I'm correct, I'm just throwing that out there, because that's,
You have to have a minimum of 5 acres.
but he's gonna be working on it, so.
One, yeah, so he's gonna be working on it,
And
and that's the goal, I think that's one of the
Second question,
top things.
sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, but it's stupid, I just wanna mention that I will be bringing up my updated solar. We have a solar regulation, I worked with SolSmart to update it, to make it current, and I will bringing that up. I left it off this year because we had so much going on, but I'd like to get that updated and done next
Is
year.
that an ordinance or a regulation?
It's an ordinance, so our sort of, we have one in there, they just took it and they updated it, yeah.
So it would go on, so it would.
I'm just letting you guys put it in your brain cells that, yeah, I will be doing that, so you're like, well, okay, you never mentioned this
So
before.
that's gonna be put on the agenda then?
No, maybe not, because it's really kind of done. And 3, because it didn't need much tweak, it just needed a little bit tweaking.
The agenda is.
Okay.
Yeah.
My-
I mean,
Oh, all right.
but no, it physically needs to be up there.
I got a third question.
You have time, you still have time.
Oh, the lawsuit, did they resolve that final issue? The housing issue? I know that 2, the town was acquitted over, and then there was a third issue, and there's been no,
I assume
I
we will.
assume I will get,
all right,
will get a message once.
what's it called? Workforce housing. Thank you.
And one more thing,
Oh, we got one more question.
Yes, John.
yeah, adding a $20 fee, it's short-term rental will not solve any of the budget problem in town.
It doesn't necessarily mean it's a $20 fee, it could be a $2 fee, it could be a
Well,
$400 fee.
I know, I'm just saying,
It's,
I'm just wondering what, if we're, I don't wanna see it as a town money grab, I wanna do it because it's right, not because we feel like it. We need to research it, and
I'm sure whatever Madison charges or whatever.
$25.
Yeah, so if Madison charges a $25 fee, they probably are calculating it out to say, because we have to pay somebody, and we have to have the
It's
materials.
just the minimal amount of fee that they're charging so that they can have on file what places are Airbnb so that if they have issues, if this is correct me if I'm wrong, if they have issues like the police, the fire, they know who to contact as far as the.
The noisy customer too.
right, but we don't
But I
need,
mean, why don't we talk to them?
And see what they're getting from it.
okay, and we don't need a fee to register these things for that purpose, though.
Well, then I don't want to register my dog. I'm not paying $60.
You can do whatever you want, it's your choice.
$25 is nothing to those people who are getting $2,000.
Yeah.
I know, my girlfriend paid $400 a night in Dover.
Well, okay, fine, those people might be, but if someone is complaining that those people down the street are making money by doing something with their property, there's nothing wrong with someone else doing something. If I wanna rent my house out, what's stopping me?
Nothing's stopping you.
That's it.
To do it.
I don't need to, I'm just saying, why are people?
Nobody's stopping
Another
anyone. It's a way to manage and do it. But we're not even saying we are gonna absolutely do it. We're gonna research it, find out, and do our due diligence.
Okay, I just, we're not Madison, they're near North Conway with a lot of skiing. And they might have a large turnover, we may not.
We're in Wolf Hall, Winnipesaukee.
We're near Brookfield too.
Hey, we had a-
I know, I'm just saying,
Anybody have any questions on the permits?
No, I think it was, how much did we make total? I lost my
$250?
list.
Yeah, they were all like
What
little.
did we get, about $50,000 from code enforcement a year? Yeah.
I just want to be able to be heard and have an open discussion.
I'm sorry, what'd you say? I was
think-
joking, I
I don't think we
was joking.
have
We're
not.
not gonna solve that tonight.
No, we don't, but if we're not going to have an open discussion, there's no point doing it. Just like there's no point putting the thing in the ballot, we're not going to write it up. And if we do it again, why are we doing this at all?
He's got a good point.
Well, I don't disagree when I said that
Yeah.
when we all
Yeah.
three
No, last year we decided, last year we did it, we dropped the ball, we're not gonna do it again. Because what do we do all this work for?
What did we drop the ball on?
Well, we wrote a very nice review of the zoning amendments, and it was not made anywhere
And
public.
we didn't spoon feed it to the residents.
No,
So wait a minute, so first of all, we wrote it up, it was passed along to the person that was supposed to post it, and that person didn't post it.
It was
So
provided
we did
over,
our due
and
diligence.
it was provided over at the municipal building. They, the whole packet of the
I'm
write-up.
not saying we're gonna spoon feed it, but, this year we're gonna write it up, we'll meet with the selectmen, we'll answer the questions, we'll do our due diligence.
So are you gonna write up the cheat sheet?
If you want me to.
I
yes,
would love for you to
I would love,
If you wanna do the little idiot's guide, like this is a brief summary.
these guys, if people are busy,
Yes, no, I.
some people don't even live in this
So
town.
are you committing to writing
Well,
that
if you
up?
don't live in the town, then you don't vote here.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean they can't read.
Well, I
It's a
understand, but,
public,
I understand, but I'm not gonna.
I will be glad to write it
I'm
up.
not going to cater to the non-resident of the town.
I'm not saying, I will cater to the property owners and the taxpayers.
I'm not catering to anybody. I'm doing,
Who's
I'm
it?
doing my civic duty as being on this board and trying to better the town.
And I just want to do our due diligence so that we get the best chance to pass these
All
things.
right, so does anybody wanna make a motion to adjourn at 8:02?
I'll make a motion that we adjourn at 8:02.
Anybody wanna second that?
Second.
All those in favor?
Um,